Hi, I'm sitting on my bedroom floor. Welcome to Continental Drift Knits podcast, episode 3, and I hope this works because I'm exhausted and I don't really have time to do it again. So welcome, my name's Lisa, and thank you to everybody who has watched the past episodes. And if you've left a comment, that's wonderful. If you've left a like, that's been lovely. If you've subscribed, that's really lovely. If you wish to do that, please feel free. You can find me on Instagram as Continental Drift Knits, on Ravelry as CDK Podcasts, and also you can email me at continentaldriftknits@cansandco.com, CANSANDCO.com. Sorry, brain is not working. It's Saturday morning, sometime early in August, about the 6th, I think, 5th or 6th, 7th, 8th, 6th. And as you can see, I'm packing. You may or may not be able to see that. So our situation is on Monday we have movers coming, international movers coming to pack. So they pack and then remove our goods, and they'll all get put into a 20-foot container and get shipped to, we're shipping to Australia. We're moving to New Zealand. It's very complicated. We have a house in Australia that our son lives at, and we'll be moving our stuff there to consolidate it and work it all out and see what we need in New Zealand, and then ship what we need to New Zealand. But it was more economical to put it all into Australia to begin with. So we have to do without all of our stuff from here for, they're saying 3 months. I have heard up to 5 months. So between November at the earliest through to about Christmas time. So I have to think about any seasons we might be in. So we've got another 8 days in the UK. Then we go to weather that's about 12 to 18 degrees in Melbourne for a couple of weeks. And then we're moving over to Queenstown in New Zealand, probably. We're not even 100% sure of that, but we think it will be Queenstown. And at the moment, they're getting tops of 2 and 6 degrees. So we have to be prepared for wintry weather and cold weather. So it's a little bit of a mind crazy thing at the moment. And so we're trying to anticipate what we might need to take with us, but we also are going to camp in the house for another 5 days. And so we need at least 2 sheets and 2 towels and 2 pillows. And so can we transport those as well, or do we leave those here? It just saved us £100 a night in a hotel. For not much else than a bed and a shower, and we've got a shower here, and we've still got a microwave and a fridge and hot water and that sort of thing. So and the washing machine. So we thought, we'll just camp. So we are leaving the house that we bought 5 years ago, and we completely renovated. It hadn't been renovated for 60 years and had brambles or blackberries growing through the lower where the kitchen is now. So it's a bit mixed, you know. It's a lovely house, it's a beautiful house, and we're very privileged to have been able to renovate it and live here for the last 5 years. But we're super keen to get closer to family and can't wait. So if I'm a little bit scatty today, I think that's why. So on to the knitting. FOs. Basically, you hadn't seen this yarn. This vest is a Montpellier top, and it's by November Knits on Instagram. I'm not sure what she's on Ravelry, and it's in the Robinson yarn by Rerum Natura. So they do Gilead and Ulysses and Cyril, I think. I haven't, Serrano. I haven't used Serrano, but it is very, very lovely. It's a cotton merino. It's probably, I don't know what it would be, for DK weight. But it can be knit up, as can be seen on this vest. Now, I didn't get gauge, so it's just sort of sits on my hips. It's got quite a deep underarm, and it's got a really nice detail through here, this rib detail, and it's quite a cutout there. So yeah, so this took 2.2 balls. I had to go and get another ball for that much. I just didn't want it cropped. So I decided in the end to just get another ball. So I've used 20 grams of that ball. So if you were slightly smaller than me or were happy enough to have it cropped, it was just 2 balls of yarn. It was a very quick knit. I knitted on, oh gosh, I can't even remember what I knitted it on. Isn't that terrible? I've got my, no, I haven't even got my swatch. I took photos of the swatch. I'll have it on Ravelry. I'll have all the details on Ravelry. I haven't put them on there yet. I'm sort of waiting till we get out of the house, and then I've got about 7 or 8 days where we don't have house and we're going to a wedding and we're doing a few other things, but essentially it'll all be paperwork to sign ourselves out of things like NHS and HMRC and you know, cancel Sky and Virgin and all the utilities you have and all the subscriptions you have. So just got to make sure all that's done, preferably before we leave, because you often have to make phone calls or use your number. We'll keep our number active, but yeah, we can only come back to the UK a maximum of 45 days per year. So we don't plan on coming back for probably close to 12 months. At least to begin with, and then we'll probably plan to come back and have some visits. We still have our business here, so we will have business here, and we've got staff here still running it. So there is that complication, but we'll just work it out as we go. So trying to just live with uncertainty and be very zen about it and very calm about it. It's not working. That's okay. I'm okay. Yeah, so Robinson yarn, I got it from Wild and Woolly in London, in Hackney, and it's just divine. That's my London yarn home, and she has the Rerum Gilead, Ulysses, Serrano, Penelope, I think, and the Robinson. So it's quite thick. It's about, again, I think I was saying with the Creme K Reborn jeans top that I made, it's quite thick, and I wouldn't want any thicker, but actually I think this will be quite good in mid weather, you know, that spring weather too, to put over a top. Like it's on me today, and I'll take that off. It's going to be really lovely here today. So by lunchtime, which it almost is now, very soon, I'll probably take it off and just wear a t-shirt for the rest of the day. But it worked really well over a summer dress that I've got as well. So that was nice. I really liked the, I did tubular bind off. I don't think I've got it right yet, but that's okay. I'll figure that out. And I really like this rib detail. So all the increases and were added beyond the rib detail, and the rib details kept quite consistent. As I said, I didn't meet gauge. My gauge was tighter, and I didn't want to go any bigger in the needle, the fabric. So the yarn was a bit lighter than the suggested yarn, and the so my needle size was a bit smaller and my gauge a little bit tighter. So I actually went up a size, but I knew I wanted it quite cut at the back. And so I did my shaping. I sort of thought about the shaping. I kept trying it on, making sure it was long enough and that I wasn't going wonky anywhere. And it really worked quite well. I was pretty pleased with it, actually. It was, I'm not very good at going off piste. I'm not very self-directed. I like a pattern, I follow the pattern, I like to get gauge. And so it was a little bit different for me to actually do the numbers. And I think people like Tracie from the Grocery Girls, and just seeing Laura at Penrose Knits and Rebecca at Crayabea, and they all just had a go. And I think that did encourage me to have a go and just produce fabric I liked, and then modify the pattern enough using maths and numbers, which I'm reasonably good at, to produce a fabric and a top that I'm pretty happy with. Probably my only modification, if I was redoing this and being super critical, I'm really not stressed about it, is I think it's probably a little bit too wide there, and I would like it to somehow have been able to hug the body just slightly here. So when I wear it, if I wear it with just a bra, my bra is quite visible, which I don't really care, but it just sits out flat a little bit. I'd like it to have come in a bit. So anyway, so that's again the Montpellier, I think it's Montpellier top. If you Google that on Instagram, I don't think it's Montpellier vest. I think it's Montpellier top, but it's definitely by November Knits. So on Instagram. So I enjoyed that. The other thing I did, as you know, I'm on a sock tube bender. So I did the second one of, and I did the second one and of the sock I'd already done. So that's the sock I'd already done with the big hysterical heel. No heel on this one yet. Don't have the brain power to put heels in just yet. Haven't needed to, haven't been wearing socks, so I'm sure that will change. And just because I have 4 sets of these, I jumped on and started the next one. So don't you love that fade? Isn't that gorgeous? Hey, it's editing Lisa here. It's about 8 hours later and I've realised I screwed up. But I have had a look at the content, and I turned the camera off when I thought it was on, and then on when I thought it was off, and I missed some of the stuff I chatted about, but it was only about 5 or 10 minutes. So you'll see a jump and I'll say I'm back. That was because our cleaner arrived, and so I'd stopped the video again to go and sort her out. But yeah, so sorry about the brief interlude. We'll go from here. Thanks. There we go. I'm back. Sorry, it's been interrupted. All right. Nellie, our cleaner's downstairs. She's been with me since the first week we came 7.5 years ago. So today's the last day. So it's going to be a bit tough, but that's all right. Okay, Miles' shirt jacket. I have got a bit further actually. I've joined in the middle, and this is by Ozetta. Hayley, I think it is her name, and I'm really happy with how that's coming. It's just a big, oversized, loose sleeves, pockets, curved hem, and it'll be really quick. As I said, I'm only on my second plate and I'm already down here, so don't know. Has a great detail. The back seam sort of sits at the back of the shoulder, which I really like. Oh, excuse me, I'm getting old. All right, so I'm in my super dagger gear, Saturday morning. Hair's up, like, so you're just gonna have to forgive me. So as I said, that's on hold because I'm just way too hot. It's in my Hohi ball bag. Ball bag sounds a bit average. So it has, so just so you can see it, it's beautiful. It clips here. So it has clips, and then it sits over the top, and then this one magnetics there, like that, and you can carry it like that, although I often have it so overstuffed that I push everything open. And then it sits, but it sits mainly in my house, like that. So my project just sits in it. And that was a seconds. I was really lucky to get that. But honestly, their seconds are so good that you wouldn't know it was a seconds really. So yeah, so that's my Robinson. Put that in there. I'm trying to keep organized. My Manchelopi in there. Where was I? Whips. I have one more whip. Well, I have sort of I have one more whip. So I went to Beautiful Knitters, a store in London that I haven't been to before. And of course, I'm doing all my bucket list things all of a sudden that you think you've got heaps of time to do and see. And then all of a sudden realise, oh my gosh, I'm leaving London. So I hadn't been to Beautiful Knitters. And I was they're about a 3-minute walk from the Pimlico station, tube station, which is on the Victoria line. And really, really, really good. I mean, beautiful stuff and very friendly. Very light, airy shop. Very accessible in terms of getting there via the tube. They have knitting for Olive, and I have seen lots of bloggers talk about it, and I've been really keen to at least get some samples and try some before I left, so I understood sort of what it was like and what I thought of it. And I bought some silk, and because I wanted another summer chippy knit type thing. And I was watching lots of Inga's Cumulus teas popping up. And I thought, that'd be nice. I might do that. So I've got this theory that the more you knit, the smaller needles you start to knit on. Yeah, and you're not as stressed by having to have big chunky needles. So I actually find big chunky needles quite difficult. Beyond about a 5.5 mil, I find quite hard to knit with. I'm an English knitter. I sort of flick. Trying to modify that slightly just so I'm a little bit quicker. But I'm a flicker thrower, and I think as you get a bit further down the track, you tend to make finer fabrics. Not for all knitters, but many knitters I noticed that, you know, where I saw them 2 or 3 years ago, knitting much thicker yarns and thicker needle sizes, they're now on smaller needle sizes, and that sort of happens for me a bit too. So this is the Cumulus tee, and I'm bang on gauge on, I think it was 3.25 millimeter. Yep, 3.25 millimeter needles. So I'm on my second skein. Just split with the sleeves. I should put them on barber cords so that I could, but I was on the train and I had this tiny little bit of scrap. So to keep knitting, and this is just rounded round now till measures 52 centimeters or something like that. So it really is, as I said before, with the tube socks, they've been replaced by the Cumulus tee. So I obviously won't get to wear it in the UK summer, but I'm hoping for the Australian summer that will get a bit of wear. I'm not normally a V-neck person, so I'm not sure how this is going to go, how I'm going to feel about it, but I'm keen to have a go and see what I think. Certainly, I've got to say, the knitting for olive silk is just gorgeous to knit with. So it's, yeah, that's going okay. It's not shiny silk, but it's not a raw slubby silk either. So it comes in balls, and it's quite fine. Sort of fingering weight, I suppose. But really lovely, often combined with the mohair. And I'm really enjoying that. So I've bought 5 balls. My size said 5 balls, but I suspect 4 will mostly get me there, depending on how long I decide to make my sleeves. So I think I'll do the body to the length I want, and then I'll have a look at what I've got. And if I don't have to go into the 5th ball, I won't. But I'm not afraid to, as you can see from the Robinson, from the Montpellier top. So that's the Cumulus tee. Okay. Last Sunday, I went to a colourwork testing session with Liz Boltes. I'm sorry, Liz, if I butchered that. And basically, she was encouraging us to do colour play and using a 2x2 pattern. So we had to pick yarns we liked, the colours we liked, colours we didn't, and we had to combine colours just without thinking too much about it. Lots of just combining ideas and colours and that sort of thing. So this is the swatch I ended up with. And essentially I started with this swatch. I started with that. And I thought, I'd prefer a different background colour. So then I went to the green background, which I quite like. And then I thought, wonder what it'd be like with a light background. So I went to the light background. I ran out, so hence we have a big orange band at the bottom. But I think it's just really interesting. This felt very 30s in terms of the colour range. This is more my wheelhouse in terms of colour, green. And then this was really interesting in terms of what the colours did when you paired it with a light background. So it was really interesting. We were giving her, there was a small group giving her some feedback on what she could achieve, and she's running these sessions at Unravel in September. So that was really a lot of fun. It was just foreplay, fingering. We had weight yarn, we had 30 or 40 colours on the table, and basically went at it and picked, and I certainly picked colours that were outside my comfort zone. Even though 1 or 2 of them are comfort colours, the combinations are not generally me. But I have got some ideas from that as to what I could use. Yeah, so that was a really good exercise, so thanks for that. We did that at Wild and Woolly on Sunday afternoon. And then finally, Julie, who is Evie and Lily on Instagram, thanks Julie, has egged me on. I have never knit a ranunculus. And I saw Tracie's from Grocery Girls and I thought, oh, I really should knit one. And I have some linen in my stash, some Kalinka linen. And I really want just something super lightweight. I really don't want anything heavy. I thought, wonder if I did it held singly, just what that would do. So that's a 5mm needle. I'm nowhere near gauge. So that's 16 by 24, 16 stitches to 10 centimeters and 24 rows. And I need to be at 14 stitches and 20 rows. So I've at least got to go up 1/2 mil, and I'm not sure I want to. So my question is, do I do maths and do numbers? And the ranunculus is quite patterned, so I'm not really sure whether I want to mess with numbers. And it's a yoke, and that changes your depth of your yoke if you start to muck around. Or do I go up a needle size? And I'm not sure I want to make it any more like transparent than it already is. Just had another idea. And the other idea was this mess here. The other idea is maybe, just maybe, I could combine it with a pure silk thread. And I know this goes okay, these two threads. It will change the colour of it, like, even though that is really different to that, it does almost disappear. So I just thought of that with that. Trouble is, it would make a much thicker. So that's the silk, which is 500 meters. It's 500 meters per 100 grams. That's a 50-gram ball. So that would be a very light fingering weight. Not sure. Okay, swatching is in my life. I really don't like. I just want to get on with it. But I've learnt that unless you are happy with the fabric, it is not worth putting in all the effort. So what I think I'll do, I'll do some mini swatches. So I'll do a small swatch of the 5.5mm needle. I'll do another swatch of the 6mm needle, but combined with the Knitting for Olive silk. All right. Whoops, hang on. There we go. Swatch done. That's the original one I've just shown you. This is, it's about 8 hours later. That's 5.5mm, which is actually not that bad, but I don't think it's much better in gauge. And that, my friends, is the silk and linen. I rather like that. And I think, well, yeah, I'll have a go at that. Okay, that's good. I'm just trying to think whether I've got anything else to show you. No, I think that's all my whips, which is quite enough, really. I've found some old whips in my packing. And one of the biggest problems is that everything is being shipped. So I have no access to anything for the next 4 months, 3 to 5 months. So what I have to do is I have to take in my carry-on, like on the plane, anything I absolutely want for the next 3 or 4 months. So what I did was I picked out all my fun stuff. I can't knit all this in 3 months, it's ridiculous, but it's about giving me options. I might get ruthless, but so because Daryl and I travel a bit backwards and forwards to family from the UK, we get enough points to become what they call platinum flyers with Qantas, and so we have 120 kilos of baggage between the two of us, and we don't normally do that because who wants to cart 120 kilos of baggage with you? But we normally just like have one big bag each and a small bag carry-on. But I do think for this trip we will carry as much, we will go to the max and carry as much with us as we can, and just get a car to Heathrow and get kids to pick us up. So I think I can take it all. It's also precious stuff that I wouldn't want to get lost in. Still, they can get lost in suitcases, can't they? Thinking about getting some air tags. Don't know. I'll take my heirloom blanket that I've talked about before. I'll take, I've got this Kalinka sitting here. I would love to test the Elton jumper that Hohi is currently working on. So I would love to do it in a lace. It's a travel knitted Tanami lace, the same as I did my Elton cardigan. So the Tanami lace instead of the mohair, and the Kalinka linen instead of the fingering weight and fork bone. I've got a crochet project. I've got some sock yarn to take with me, I think, and my current whips. Oh my God. Fortunately, I have a very patient husband. Not that he has to be patient. I can make my own decisions. But I'm a patient wife. He's out playing golf at the moment, and basically he's got golf clubs. So we're pretty even in our hobbies, both in expense and hassle and bucket list things that we want to do. So yeah, he's very accommodating, and I'm very accommodating of his golf. So we tend to work well. So I'm hoping I can take it all. We're going to do a mock pack on Sunday night, get everything that we want to take out of the way of the movers, and it'll be a good chance to pack everything up and make sure it fits and make sure it weighs. And I've ordered myself a new luggage scale because our last luggage scale broke, and you could say, well, just use your scales in your house. Yes, well, we would, but they'll be gone too. So everything is going. I'm not processing everything at a really high level, so sorry if this is really scatty. Oh dear, I'm not sleeping very well too. So hopefully in a couple of weeks when you see me, I'll be a little bit calmer. Might be in Melbourne next time I get to do this. I was just trying to think. So we travel in about 10 or 11 days. So maybe I'll try and do a session, a blog from Melbourne before we go to New Zealand, maybe. All right. Stash acquisitions, just some of the acquisitions, probably 2 main acquisitions. I have been buying a bit because I know I'm going, and I do know that some of the things I want or that I use are a lot more expensive in Australia, and so I have taken advantage of being here. I think I showed you I find packs, these travel packing cubes, brilliant, both for packing and for stash. So what I have done is I have bought all the drops mohair for my Holst. That's a bit of it. For my Holst cones that I mentioned in previous episodes. So there is a probably plain jumper like a Lento or a Cozy Classic raglan, Cozy Classic raglan in my life in the near future, so that's coming with me as well. So I got that. I also bought I bought one soft tweed. I wanted to have a feel of it. Who was using that? I think it was Laura from Penrose Knits was using the soft tweed. It's very lovely. It was a drops soft tweed. Yeah, really nice. I'll probably combine it with a mohair or something and do a hat. But I really wanted to see what that was like before. But it reminds me a lot actually of felted tweed. And I have a lot of that. So that's the other thing. I have a lot of stash. And my daughter said, oh, Mum, you should do a stash, you know, should go through your stash. Show everyone your stash. I said, no, it's embarrassing. Anyway, stash beyond life expectancy. So the other place I went, as I mentioned, was Beautiful Knitters, and I really wanted to get some knitting for Olive. So you've seen the silk. The other thing I got, so this was their fingering merino, knitting for Olive merino. And it's really true to life. It's a little bit light, actually. It's very, it's beautiful, really beautiful, beautiful yarn. So I got 1, 2, 3 balls of that and a matching mohair. I can't remember what I got that for. Got that for, I think I was going to look at a floodlight tee, possibly floodlight tee. I also got the heavy merino, just a sample. It's just beautiful. The colour is amazing. Colour's blowing out a little bit there, so that's more what it looks like. Just stunning. I also got this for a hat, and it reminds me of Hive Knits Juicy Green cardigan, the first cardigan. So I just wanted to try that. So that was the merino again, the 4-ply fingering merino, and then that was just another. So yeah, I got 3 balls of the teal colour and 1 of the that. And then those, bit of a theme, a bit of green theme. I'll use that as my thumbnail. There we go. And then and of course the one I was thinking of putting, that's the silk. It's a bit darker, so that's probably more what it is. Yeah, so I love this stuff. It's just beautiful. The colours are just divine. It's a Scandinavian company, non-mulesed. Doesn't really talk about its provenance. Slate green, traceable, non-mulesed, Oeko-Tex Standard 100. So the heavy merino's 250 meters for 100 grams. Doesn't say where it's made. No, it doesn't say where it's made, but And the just extra fine merino is 500, so it's a light fingering again, very light fingering weight, because it's 500 meters per 100 grams. And the mohair silk is 70% mohair, cruelty free, 30% silk, reach standard cruelty free, and it's 450 meters per 50 grams, but they're 25 gram balls, and that's called Clover Green. All right. So that's really, from a stash perspective, I think that's probably, you know, I bought a Zorba ball, and I bought some more linen. I bought the green linen actually, and a few things like that. And I have spent a fair bit, but I do know that I will use them. I can't get them in Australia. I can't really get them in Australia easily. But I am looking forward to other things in Australia. So I know, for example, I can get Rama yarn. I can get Fennel in about 20 minutes from my house in Australia, and I can't get it in London. So how bizarre is that? It comes from Scandinavia, so it's just crazy. So yes, I think that's probably all from me. At the end of this video, I've popped some things in. I've just been collecting bits of footage around the house, around, I'll take a video of my stash all boxed up, ready to go. We've been out and about, so I'll put some video of, we had pub lunch by the Thames yesterday, with some friends that were on their way back to Australia, just things like that. So I hope you enjoy. I hope you have a nice couple of weeks. Thank you very much for watching, and please like or subscribe if you're interested in knowing the next time a video comes up from me, and if not, that's fine. But also have a lovely couple of weeks. I know in Australia it's still pretty cold and wet, so I hope you're just clinging on for the summer. I saw a picture of some jonquils yesterday from a friend, so I know the summer's coming, or the spring is coming. And if you're hot and weary in London, just know that ends too. So enjoy where you're at if you can at the moment, and stay safe. See ya.